There are many ways to add text and graphics to a t-shirt. Stenciling with a custom design and fabric paint is one of my favorites. You need a cutting machine, like a Cricut, but the stencil material is inexpensive and accessible. Let's start by prepping a shirt. This is a 100% cotton t-shirt, and I'm going to wash and dry it first. This is a must for any fabric you are embellishing. It'll help your design hold up for a long time. While the shirt is in the wash, let's jump into Cricut Design Space and create a stencil for the shirt. I'm using a graphic available at my site, Creative Ramblings. Just head to the link in the description to grab your free download. In Design Space, click Upload and choose the Be Kind SVG file. Then add it to a blank canvas. Size the graphic appropriately. Mine is about 10 inches wide to fit the full front of my t-shirt. Then click Make It and choose to cut it on a mat. For material, search for and select freezer paper and head over to your machine. Freezer paper can be found at most grocery stores and is similar to wax paper. It has a shiny side and a matte side. Tear out a piece of freezer paper and cut it to size, then lay it shiny side down on a cutting mat. Then let the machine cut the stencil from the paper. We are making a stencil, so you want to save the outside of this graphic we just cut. So I'm going to pull that off in one piece and set it aside. Then I'm going to grab a Cricut weeding tool and I'm just going to pull out the letters that spell out Be Kind. I want to save those as well. The rest I can toss. All right, our t-shirt is all clean and dry and we're ready to adhere the stencil. Here's the great part about freezer paper. That shiny side is actually an adhesive when you heat it up. So I'm gonna line up the outside of the stencil. I like these to be about 4 fingers down from the neckline. Then I'm gonna use a large ruler to make sure it's centered. I can take my EasyPress Mini or an iron on medium heat and just run it over that freezer paper and it's going to adhere to the fabric. It's a temporary hold, it's not going to damage your fabric, but it's going to give you crisp, clean lines when you're painting. Once the outer part of the stencil is on, I can go back with those letters that I pulled out and iron those in place as well. Add a piece of cardboard underneath your stencil between the layers of fabric so that it doesn't bleed through. Now it's time to paint. So I am using a fabric paint. This is meant for fabric. It can be washed and worn. It's nice and soft. It's going to hold up really well. I'm also using a stencil brush. So I've got a little container. I'm just going to put a bit of paint in it. Load up the stencil brush with paint and then wipe off most of it. Using an up and down motion, I'm just going to dab the paint or stipple the paint onto the fabric. Do not use a lot. Just come in with a little bit of paint, and once you finish the whole thing, you can go back and add another coat for a darker color. While the paint is still wet, go in and peel back that stencil. The freezer paper doesn't leave any adhesive residue behind, and look at those beautiful crisp lines. You can use a tweezer to pull out the letters and anything left over in the middle. Now let this sit until the paint is completely dry. Once it's dry, we need to heat set it. So grab a tea towel or a piece of fabric, place it over your painted surface. Then using that EasyPress or an iron, go over it on medium heat. This is going to help the paint really sink in to that t-shirt material. Now you are ready to wear this. This shirt can be worn and washed just like normal. According to the directions on this paint, you want to wait at least 72 hours before your first wash. So I hope you learned something today. I showed you a really easy way to stencil a t-shirt. If you want to know more about stenciling fabric, check out this video right here. I've got a number of different ways that you can stencil fabric. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more simple, inspiring projects. Thanks for watching.